Hey, what's going on? This is Ken Beckford here, and I have a question for you. I want to know if you have a hustler spirit. And the reason why I'm asking you this is because I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And one of the things that one of the most prominent artists, some could say hip hop artist, but he is now tapped into the popular culture, and I'm talking about the one Jay-Z. One of the things that I can recall him saying is that I have a hustler spirit, period, right? And having a hustler spirit doesn't mean that you just like do things illegal. It means that you get up and you take massive action daily, right? Charlie Hustle's Pete Rose in baseball, right? And Pete Rose kind of has like a bad stigma now because of what has happened with him gambling on games and things like that. But when he played the sport of baseball, right? When he was a player, he was known for taking massive action. Like if he hit a ball, right? And hopefully you do understand the concept of baseball, right? Well, Pete Rose would probably, like, let's just say Pete Rose hit a ball into the outfield, right? And one would probably, just trot to first base easily and like, yeah, I got a single. Pete Rose would analyze the situation and say, hey, listen, if I hustle more than the fielders, I can probably turn this into a double. I could probably make it to second base before these guys get this ball back into the infield. Hence the name Charlie Hustle, right? And that's something that, me coming up playing baseball, something that I used to emulate. Like, I would take every opportunity to make sure I got the most out of every at bat. Like, if you got me out, like when we played, baseball, street baseball, if you got me out, like, that was a feat, okay? Yeah, there were times when I would pop up, or there were rare times when I would strike out, right? But if I hit that ball into play, I don't care if I hit it right in front of the catcher. I was running like Jesse Owens to first base, okay? Like Michael Johnson or something, right? Like I was not trying to hear it. I was going to make it. I was going to be safe. I was going to be on base, and I was going to steal bases. Like I would even steal home. Don't play with me, right? Like that's the type of mentality that I had when I played baseball. And so it's the same type of mentality that I have in business, that I'm going to take massive action no matter what. I'm not playing, no games. It's time to take this to the next level. So I ask you, do you have a hustler spirit? Because I have a friend of mine, right? His name is Anthony. And he works part-time job. Sometimes he makes full-time hours. But check this out, right? He gets paid every 2 weeks. And the most that he will have on a check in a 2-week period is $450, right? And so I ask the question, does it make sense for him to continue to work on this job where he makes approximately $225 a week at most, where this would now can take up 60 hours of his week, right? And why do I say 60? Because you got to account if he works 40 hours a week, which he's not really like supposed to work 40 hours a week, right? But let's say if he works 40 hours a week, let's just say 4 times 9 is 360, right? So 360 by 360, and I'm just going to sit here at the post office to finish this video, right? Nice and shady right here, right? 360 times 2 is 720. 720, right? 720 minus taxes. Let's just bring it down to, let's say, 620, right? 620 minus the amount of money it takes to go to work back and forth. Let's bring it down to, let's just be very, very modest. Bring it down to 600. Grooming, food, 550. Let's just say 550. Let's not even say that there's any other requirements to make it to work or anything like that for the next 2 weeks or whatever. Let's just leave it at $550 is what is netted, right? $550, 2 weeks. Now divide that $550 in half. What do you have? Right? What, two and something, right? Let's just say, let's bring it up to 600 and make it easy on the mathematics part. 300, right? 300 a week. 300 a week. And this is the best case scenario. 300 a week, right? With no guarantee that you will have a job next week. Why? Because anything can happen and you could get fired, right? So there's like, some rules, there, basically you could get fired from some jobs for no reason, just because the boss says you can get let go, right? So people think that they have job security and they do everything that they are supposed to do on their job and that their job is safe and secure. When in all actuality, in a lot of cases, like in my case, there was a time where I did everything right. I got promoted at a job. I was so grateful for the opportunity to have a job coming from the prison system. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I was so frustrated when I got fired just because the guy didn't like me. And when I tell you that this is the truth, I'll make another video explaining to you that situation. But I want to wrap this one up though, and just say that, just imagine at best making netting $300 a week, right? As opposed to having a hustler spirit, right? Having a hustler spirit and taking what it is I have access to, that you can gain access to by clicking the link below. Whereas if you hustle 5 hours a day, just 5, right? And I'm saying 5 as a long shot, because how long will it take you to make $125 sale with what we have when you don't have to do the selling? I mean, for some people it can happen in an hour. So what if you're able to make $125 and it takes you even 10 hours in one day? If you did that 5 days a week, how much would you have then earned? Well, 125 when you add up the 25s plus the 5, that's 625. That's 625 in a week. If it took you 10 hours a day for a week, right? But let's just say it took you 5 hours. It's the same amount of money, right? Just note that the better you become, the faster you'll be able to make the money. The better you become, the faster you'll be able to make the money. We're talking about $125 a shot. What if you worked as long as it took every day for the next 90 days to make $125 sale every day for the next 90 days? Would it be worth it? Do the math. Just do the math. If you worked at a job and you're working for less than $10 an hour and you're working 30 hours a week and you have to drive to work or take public transportation to work or depend on someone to drive you to work, and you got to get a haircut and you got to make sure you have food to eat while you're at work, when you come back home, and you got bills to pay, right? Because I didn't even count for the bills that you got to pay, right? Your phone bill, everybody has a phone bill, right? For the most part. The light bill, a gas bill, a mortgage, a rent. Some places water bills, right? Cable bills, right? Let's take this into account, ladies and gentlemen, and you tell me what makes more sense. Because tonight, 8 p.m., we're going to show you how by keeping the job, you're missing out on big money. So click the link below so that way you can be a part of the webinar that we're having tonight, where we can show you how to make more money outside of your job, so that way you can walk away from your job, fire your boss, and kick the alarm clock.